put it on.
The Inside Spot, Chicago's premier aquarium podcast. Let's give it up for our hosts, Kyle, Glenn, and Branton Whitecap. This is the Inside Spot, Chicago's premier aquarium podcast. This is the Inside Spot, Chicago.
Hey.
Inside Spot,
What's up, guys? What's up? How's everyone doing? We are live Saturday night. The Inside Splash, Chicago's premier aquarium podcast. All right. Today we have two very special guests with me and Branton. We have Bob and Teresa Sturnfield. These guys are big in the Chicago aquarium scene. They are active in all the clubs around here. You'll see them at almost every fish swap. And they're some special people to me, guys. These two right here are some of the reason why I'm as involved in the clubs and in the swaps as I am. I have a little story. The first swap I ever went to was a Greenwater aquarium swap, guys. And I talk about this a lot, but I remember walking in there. I had my girlfriend with me. I had my daughter with me. And, you feel a little guilty dragging them along because it's a personal interest. And I remember this, I walking past this stand, and Teresa and Bob kind of reach out and they're like, hey, guys, we have these little stuffed animals. If your daughter wants to take one. And she got one. And I think she got one at like the next two swaps. She's got a little collection of them now. But that little interaction, it blew my mind. It changed the way I viewed everything, and it gave me an outlook into the hobby that I just didn't expect to see, which was there's some amazing people in these places, these clubs, swaps, and that was just the very tip of the iceberg for me. So I feel very grateful to have these two on, and I just wanted to give that quick little intro and let everybody know that this is a live stream that I've been looking forward to, and in my mind, I've been waiting to ask them for a while to be on the show, and I don't know, I'm just super happy. So
yeah, I've never met Bob and Teresa until just a little bit ago, backstage, and I'm just like you guys in this stream. I guess I'm curious to hear the stories and get to know them a little better, and yeah, it should be a good one.
Well, thanks for having us here tonight.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming, guys. Do you guys want to personally introduce you guys yourselves, and maybe some of your, I don't know, titles, affiliations with clubs, or whatever you guys want to kind of claim?
Yeah. Well, this is Teresa.
Hello.
Yeah, chairman of the board of Chicago Livebearers Association. So, and she's acting treasurer for Greenwater Aquarium Society. So it's like, yeah.
So we're heavily involved in Greenwater. Bob does all the IT stuff, and I help with the treasures, and I do membership and kind of whatever else comes along.
Yeah.
That's our probably we're real active there, and also in GAIC, right? The swaps, and then Bob took over the Livebearer club.
Yeah, which was originally it was society instead of association, right? Was the kind of change over the name, the namesake there?
Yeah. Right. So we did the whole thing all over the incorporation and all the paperwork, and so it's a totally new club. And so we've had one meeting, and but we're also in the IFGA, which is the Guppy Association.
Yeah.
And
International Fancy Guppy Association.
He shows fish there. Yeah. And then we do attend the swaps.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a assistant judge for IFGA, and we're in the American Livebearers Association as well, and attend. There's a couple of conventions that we go to. Like next week, we're going to be at the IFGA annual. So they have all their yearly presentations and all that kind of stuff there. And then I'll be going there for, we're going out on Thursday and we'll have it on Friday and Saturday. And then going to Sunday morning, rush back from that's near Detroit in Romulus, Michigan, and going to drive back and to get to Chicago Livebearers Society on Sunday. So yeah, doing us.
So you're going out to the IFGA show. You said in Michigan?
Yeah, in Michigan.
And then you're coming back for the
yeah.
Oh my God.
Weekend.
You guys are going to be filled up with Livebearer talk, aren't you?
Yes.
So we are.
Oh, there we go. We got Branton back.
Yeah, we're involved in both. And then, yeah, I mean, there's other meetings like we try to make all the Chicago Aquatic Plant Society meetings. That's one of our favorite clubs. And but my problem is, yes, if they schedule it at the same time as Greenwater, well, Greenwater gets precedence. It's like, okay, but that's one of the things is that I mean we tend to go to all the GCCA, even the meetings and the swaps, and we go to the Greenwater swaps, and we go to the I'll go to the Chicago Guppy Club. That's GAIC, GAIC. I'm in that one as well. And
so I didn't realize that's actually a separate club.
Yes.
Yeah.
No way. I didn't realize that. I thought that was part of the incorporation of the new Chicago club. So that's a totally separate club.
No, there's a separate, there's a separate Guppy club as well. So yeah.
We have a unique situation in Chicago out here, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, technically, I'm an officer in the Guppy Club and in Livebearers Club and in Greenwater, and it's like, okay, so very involved in all three of those. And then, as I say, that's like tomorrow we'll be at CAPS down in Bolingbrook. So that's the Chicago Aquatic Plant Society. So
okay, for sure.
Yeah,
I'll be at Fins and Feathers tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. And it's kind of like Fins and Feathers starts at or goes till I think noon.
Yeah.
And then of course CAPS is at 1:00. So yeah, you could make it. One to the other.
I'll jump right over there real quick.
One of the great things about all the clubs that each has their own flavor or their own perspective, and it's great to be able to attend all these things.
Yeah,
there isn't just one.
And that was one of the things during COVID. Okay, the clubs shut down on their regular meetings, but everyone was having online meetings. So it's like, okay, so at that point, I was attending the Minnesota Aquatic Society, and I was attending Madison. I'm going Madison.
Is that MASI? The MASI? Is that the Missouri?
No, MASI is Missouri. Okay.
Missouri. All right.
It's same initials. Everyone has the same initials. It's, Minnesota Aquatic Society and Missouri Aquatic Society, but Madison does MAAH. So it's like, okay, if I can figure out what the H is, but it's Madison Area Aquatic,
something or another.
I think
obviously.
Like that. Yeah. But I joined it during COVID and I still, kept my membership. We've gone a few times, but I'm so busy with the other clubs, I haven't gotten out there recently. But it's a great club too. It's like, so there's a lot of nice clubs in the area. And that's the thing is we've got like 7 major swaps in the Chicago area. So if you're going to have Southern Wisconsin, you're going to have the Quad City, Iowa, you're going to have Milwaukee, so you got those 3 along with Greenwater, the Fins and Feathers, the GCCA, and we just had Aquashella as well, which is a big show. So yeah, I was very involved in Aquashella as well there. So
so that's actually an interesting subject to touch on because there's another Aquashella show coming up here in Daytona. And I think we have some friends that are going to be attending that and everything. You have a unique perspective. You were actually working there, right?
Yeah.
You were leading the Greenwater gang over there and helping out, right?
Yeah.
How was that? What was that like? What was
it was hard work. But it was enjoyable. I mean, it's amazing how afterwards how many people would come up to me now and say, "Hey, I saw you at Aquashella," or we talked at Aquashella, or it's like, yeah. I mean, in some ways, I got a little more recognition from people because everyone. I mean, I was checking everyone in, checking their tickets and all that. Kind of stuff. So everyone had to see me.
Yeah, and you got the video, right?
So yeah, that was a nice experience. I mean, I was thinking about before Aquashella, there was aquatic experience. Yeah, aquatic experience, and that was really where when I got my start into fancy guppies was that aquatic experience was having a guppy show. And I looked at that and it's like, yeah, I remember guppy shows as a kid and things. I was thinking, yeah, I'd like to go to that one. And so I did the contact information and that's where I found the Chicago Guppy Club, So it's like, and so yes, it was through aquatic experience I actually first got into the guppies. I entered in October, I think that was 2014 or something, is like they were having an annual in Chicago. And I entered 2 guppies in there. One of them finished first place in its category. It's like, these are the guppies that I've had for 50 years at that point, right?
Yeah.
So, it's just kind of fun, that I get the feeling for there, but it's also when I first got my first fancy guppies. So it's kind of, somewhere there.
I feel like your fish room has some strains that's like a history book and a look into the past, because you brought up those ones. They were like, what was it? The first, like one of the first Endler.
I've got some Endlers that were collected by Dr. John Endler in 1975. So
Right.
I think I have maybe 7 tanks of those and things, but they're descended from those, and I'm actually just like the 3rd person to own them, So it's like, I got those from Mike Hellweg, and so they're, we're trying to get those out a little more, but they're, I mean, that's obviously coming up on. I'm going my edition here 50 years ago, so it's like that they were collected from the wild and they're still going, And,
Wow.
I mean, I those ones one of the things was, Dr. Endler could never get them to cross with guppies. Mike had tried, for 20 years, whatever, and never could get them to cross with guppies. And I haven't quite gotten to that point yet. I'm still trying to get them to reproduce or to multiply, I finally had my first time, back at the last GCCA is the first time I actually sold them. Finally felt I had enough to, to start doing that. But it's
I'm curious what those look like. What?
Yeah, well, it's just a black bar Endler. It's like, so they have the and I probably could pull up a picture of them, but it's like they're the idea is that they've got the a black on them, and they have metallic green on them, and they have red on them, and one of the things about Endlers is they are from dark water kind of areas, so they end up with real bright colors, and that's Armando Poe was one who later collected Endlers, and most that you find were collected by him, and he actually first got them to cross with guppies by raising the 2 together. And so the females would actually accept the Endler females would accept the guppy males. It's like, okay, but that's one of those where, but these ones are still ones that, after 50 years, they still will not cross with guppies. So it's like, okay.
So now I'm curious. You're breeding those, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How are the variations that come out of that being such an old strain? I mean, are they pretty rock solid?
Yeah, well,
the
they've
same?
been colony bred for a while. I mean, I'm trying to think what the actual term is for it, but it's, it's a small colony that Mike had, for me. So, yeah, there's not a lot of variance in these. That's part of with the inbreeding and all that. They are coming out. I mean, I'm not having any problems with spinal deformities or any of that kind of stuff. So they're coming out pretty good like that.
Awesome.
So, yeah. And, but that's, I mean, that I also have, one of the ones I have is the Santa Maria Bleeding Heart Endler. Okay. So here's a guppy hybrid that is, you kind of will see most of the times when you see any article on Endlers, that'll always be the one on the front cover, So it's basically got the colors of a neon tetra. So it's got dark on the top, a green stripe down the middle, and red on the bottom. So it's like, you've got that kind of pattern.
Ooh.
So
those are nice.
Yeah. See if
those are nice.
Yeah.
You look at those.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's and I like I'm working with the genetics on there. The Santa Maria genetics is actually what makes the stripes be horizontal instead of vertical on the fish. And because most guppies tend to have bars, like kind of, and this is instead split down the middle. So I've kind of been working with that, trying to get the same thing into a regular guppy. So I'm kind of reversing it out of an Endler. So working with things, I'm trying to get a nice guppy that, and I'm working more on, I get occasional green bars on my Santa Marias, and the green in the middle, and I'm, working with guppies to get that to be more pronounced. So that's, what we refer to that as a neon guppy. So it's like, so it's kind of the coloring of a neon tetra. So,
you don't see that solid of a split with like two very separate colors like a lot.
Well,
That's really
but
cool.
you see that in like cardinal tetras, neon tetras, it's like, and they're kind of from the same kind of water that the Endlers come from. So it's like, that's get that kind of coloration and things.
Very
so
cool.
So I was thinking that that's one of the things that I'm working on. I mean, I know that was down the list there.
Yeah, no, I noticed that. You were answering one of the questions there, because that seems to be one of the ones you're pretty proud of then, huh? That's one of your
it's one of the things I'm working with. I don't know. I mean, the thing about crossing and stuff like that is most people that raise guppies they get a strain. It's like, yes, it's a beautiful strain, and they make gradual improvements in it. And that's how you get show guppies. Okay. You don't make big crosses or anything. You're, just working on choosing the very best, and, you'll take like the 2 best males, and you'll take 4 females from the same litter as the 2nd best males, like that. And, you'll keep on crossing like that to keep on getting a constant, maintaining the line and improving it. Okay. And that's, your standard thing with guppies. Well,
now for that, real quick, do you pay attention to female coloration as well? You said
normally
4 females.
Most of the time I choose what its brothers look like. So it's based on, so I'm normally paying attention to when I'm developing a strain. I mean, if I'm trying to get the females to look a certain way, but mostly I'm working on male strains. And then it's like, the female, you have to look at its siblings to see what it's carrying. that kind of thing. Anyway, I was just going to say, so that's how you normally raise guppies. But one of the things is I like doing crosses. Okay, you're never going to get a great show guppy by doing crosses, but you do get an understanding of the genetics. You kind of see, okay, here's how things go together, and so that's why things like, as I say, there's an experiment. I know what gene this is, for the Santa Maria gene. I know what the bleeding heart gene is. I know how those are interacting. I'm working with, different things like that. And it's like, yeah, it's where it's more, as I say, I mean, the hobby has to be fun, put it that way,
Yeah.
and this is part of what's fun, to do this kind of stuff. So that's what I'm saying, it probably take a good 6-7 years to ever develop something that's really worthwhile out of it. But, it takes the time, but you see, it's the same thing. Like I'm working on a golden dragon. Okay. So I've got, there's different features that make a dragon guppy. So it's got to have its half moon tail with a mosaic starburst pattern on it. It's and that's what a lot of people call a dragon, just if it's got that. But it's also supposed to have a half black with a cobra pattern over it that makes it looks like scales on the body. And then it's supposed to have a yellow or red mark behind the eye that is supposed to be the dragon ears. So it's like there's different features. So it's got to have the dragon ears, the dragon scales, and the half moon with the, So those are things that you work on doing. But so now I'm trying to do it where the body color on top of it is gold. So you got and actually I'm working on, so the starburst pattern is a black and gold instead of a black and red, something like that. But, so, I'm working on that kind of thing. And it, I'm sure it'll take years to get anything out of it. But, as I say, that's part of the fun, to see how you can get the genetics to go and things.
So do you think that you're able to have so much fun given the amount of tanks you have? If you didn't have so many tanks, would you tend to focus on maybe being more of a curator of strains instead of trying to make your own?
Right. Well, the thing about why I have a lot of tanks, okay, is that any line of guppy really needs to have 8 tanks. Okay.
You said 8?
Yeah, 8.
8?
So because what you got is you start with, you're going to have 4 females that you're breeding on each generation. Okay. Each of those is going to have 2 litters that you're going to keep. Okay. So that right there, you have to have 8 separate tanks just for the fry. Okay. So it's like,
because you would like each female in its own drop, basically, right?
Each drop gets its own tank.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you can keep all those genetics and kind of get an idea of what you're
Well, you have to, you need to, because you're going to be selecting from which group is going to be the best, like that and such. And so, and you don't want to be crossing 2 fish that have the same father or same mother and things. So you kind of have to keep track of it. And that is just for a single line of a single strain. But now if you're doing it where you're then going to cross that gives you that allows you to have 2 parallel lines that you're doing, but you're still going to have to then have a second one that you're crossing, because normally you'll have one that you're raising for size and color, and one that you're raising for the shape and size, like that. And you're kind of doing a cross of those when you're trying to get your show guppies. So it's, you end up with, right there, a single line, you got 16 tanks. It's like, okay. So it's gonna,
Oh man,
It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's what
it gets heavy.
That's one of the reasons I have so many tanks. Getting guppies. When I'm doing Livebearers, I normally do maybe 2 or 3 tanks per species, like that, or per, as we call it, evolutionary significant unit.
Yeah, you told me you taught me that. Yeah.
So the thing is, species on fish are always changing. They'll be from here and there. But so one of the things we tend to do with live bears, we keep track of where they came from, and what's specifically different in this location than another location on them. And so, yes, you don't cross fish, even the same species, you don't cross one from one area with one from another area. And one of the things that you find down the line is, very often one of the areas gets declared as a different species. So, and that's where, as I say, why we work more with evolutionary significant units than with species, because those, you got a location, here's its characteristics in that area, and things, and that, is more what we concentrate on when we're doing live bears.
And so basically the term evolutionary significant unit is just a term to describe location, right?
It's
like the group that's collected, basically.
It's a group that have a special appearance, or have been isolated. They aren't crossing with other areas and things. So to connect that to our giveaway for the night, because we were talking a little bit about this, the multipunctata, they have a few different collection points. The one we're dealing with, I cannot remember the name off the top of my head right now. Let's see.
Well, you're talking about the one that Ed's putting up?
Yeah, the collection point for tonight. I can't remember what the collection point name is, and I had it pulled up, and then I moved it. Tangen Securo?
Yeah, that's one.
Yep. That's Tangen Securo. Bob, you got a shot at it?
I'm not going to give a shot at it.
No?
Yes, I know the line. And that's one of the. I mean, I think there's 4 main locations that those have come from. So, but those, and that's one of the things. The name itself means spotted. Okay, and from that area, yes, they do have spots. Okay, where the same species from another area may be completely gold.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so yes, and this is an example of what we consider a rare live bear. Okay, because you don't find them very much as a Gadea, and the thing about it is this is one that really could do well in the hobby because it's a not extremely aggressive. It doesn't get too big, maybe 2.5 inches, and it's a beautiful fish.
It is very beautiful.
I think it drops maybe 10 fry at a time, and they actually come out with umbilical cords.
Yep.
So it's like, it's not just a live bear, but it's got umbilical cords. It's like,
it's unique, something very interesting and different.
Like guppies, the eggs hatch inside the female, and there's not a lot of nutrition from the female that goes to the eggs, but for Gadeas, they're actually nourishing their fry inside the womb, and so they end up with a much bigger fish coming out, less numbers, but a lot higher survival rate then.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the Gadeas, now, aren't there a few species that actually lay eggs?
Yes, there's 2 species in the U.S., even in Arizona. That lay eggs. Well, I mean, there's actually Posilias in Africa that lay eggs. So even your, guppy relatives, egg layers,
Okay.
So it's like,
So how do you think that worked? Having 2 vastly different reproduction methods of like the same, I guess, species.
Right. And there's some species like that which will do internal fertilization and then lay the egg. It's not all that different from. It just depends on at what point the egg comes out. So that's So
they're not unless they're like a. Are there guppies that literally do the egg scattering just like a CPD?
No, but I mean relatives. There's fish in Africa. Well, and that's the thing is you really don't find live bears in freshwater live bears in Africa. okay, or even Asia and things. So they're really South America and things. So whenever they find one in Africa, it's because it's invasive.
Okay.
It's like for mosquito control, they brought in a lot of different live bearers, and they're all over the place now. But yeah, the first ones at one point, they thought they had live bearers in Africa because they'd suddenly have these cichlids that would then the babies would just appear full grown. Okay, well, it's because they were mouth brooders. Okay, so yes, they were being incubated in the cichlid's mouth instead, and then came out full grown. So it's like, it's a little different than a live bearer. But
So I have my friend here, Skull Aquatics. He is really big into the live bearers as well.
Yeah,
and definitely one of the educated folks around here. Bailey, can you see the comment?
yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. What? So do you know that species?
No, I don't.
No.
Have to. What's the genus? It's like, okay, but yeah, and it's also interesting that because your goodeids that lay eggs get classified as being killifish. So it's kind of so it's live bearers and killifish. So you just see how closely related they are. It's like so you can be in the same genus and be two different things.
So what fish? There's a fish that I'm thinking. I'm thinking of the flagfish, but that's not the fish. I think it has a similar body shape.
Yeah.
That's a killifish.
Yeah.
Is that the least killy? Or
yeah,
what am
the
I?
least, the least killy is a live bear.
Yeah.
So that's one of those ones that you'd be kind of talking about because it's a similar body shape to like a goodyear.
Yeah. Yeah, Heterodronius formosa.
It's for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Which I'm gonna keep drilling Curtis on this, but I've been trying to get those least killifish from him for like 2 months now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Curtis is all. Yeah.
Yeah, my colony of them is just right now is not doing really great, but it's like, oh, there it is. Okay, Christian. Okay, hell yeah, nice. So,
all right. Oh, you know what? Let's now that we got some people here, let's shout some people out because we got a lot of friends in the chat here that we haven't said hi to. All right, so let's hop back to the beginning here. We got my friend Jorge. What's up, man? We got Henry, Aquarium Fantasy. Henry is super into killifish. That guy's got a collection of killifish that would blow a lot of people's minds. Like, we got Price Tag Joe. What's up? Price Tag Joe just had my buddy Branton on last night. They did an awesome live stream. If you guys check that out, definitely watch.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And you can tell Price Tag Joe's a decent guy there, man. So real cool stuff. We got Ed's Aquatic Exotics. What's up? Ed's Aquatic Exotics is the guy that is sponsoring our giveaway today. He's the guy that is donating the multipunctata, which I put a couple websites in the chat there. You guys can look up the description. There's the description from the Goodyear Working Group, and then there's the description from the Chicago Livebearer Association. And you can just learn a little bit about if you guys are more of one of those kind of people that wants to read about them before you get them. I think a lot of people probably know about them already, but if you don't, that would be the place to get some info about them. We got Shady Grady. What's up, man? What's up? We got Cheryl Smith. How you doing? We got John. What's up? My Fish Tanks Aquatics. We got Skipper. What's up, man? What's up, Skipper? I got your Fish Punk sticker made up, man. I got to show it to you. We got Geek Boy. Howdy. Hey, Fish Fam link actually showed up, so I bet the Fish Fam bot is going to be, or the giveaway bot's going to be working later. Let's hope.
I was going to say, now, Kyle, have you ever tried hopping on the Fish Fam and looking at the active members?
No, that I want to do that today. That was like literally why I have the Fish Fam website pulled up already. So I'm going to do that in a second here because I should go to that.
Yeah, because that'll just give you a breakdown of everybody without even having to read the chat.
Ah, okay.
It logs whoever has made a chat, so you can just kind of go through the list. And
where do I go for that? Is that in the?
honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, because I've heard of people saying like the participants list.
Yeah, the participant list. So yeah, I don't know where that is on the Fish Fam website, but normally we've got usually either Steven or
Oh, dude,
Zen
I
in
found
here.
it.
There you go.
I found it. Yeah, dude, what?
So that'd be a lot easier for you, I think.
Oh my god, dude, that is so easy. You literally go to the live stream and you click the bottom right corner on the live stream. It's got like 3 people logo on the bottom right. Yeah,
Yep.
dude, everybody's right here. Well, I pretty much got it. Oh, Pile, what's up? Red Laser, Jim's Fish, Skull. So I think I got everybody now. What's cool is I can see everybody's logo pictures like way better.
Yeah.
I'm blind, and there's some really cool logo pictures, guys. Very nice pictures. Geek Boy's got a real. What is that? That's a cool fish. All right, I gotta look that up later. Sorry, I get lost in it, guys. All right, so I think we caught up in chat now. Did anybody have any questions? Did we miss any questions? I don't think so. I think it's mainly everybody just saying, hey, checking in. Oh, we got some people going to Aquashella Daytona for sure. You guys will definitely have fun. Bring your walking shoes. Dude, when I went there, I think I stayed for like 6 hours. And then I didn't even realize it, man. I stayed live streamed for like an hour and a half. I walked around, met a lot of really fun people. And so this is Jody P says, we're moving some tanks around to make room. My blue calico platy dropped Friday today. I have been wanting to get the blue coral calico platies from Dan's Fish for a while. They're just gorgeous fish. Oh my god. Orange, blue, really, really, really bright. And I think that would look amazing in a planted tank. But I wouldn't want to put them in something smaller than like a 40. I'd like them in like a big old planted tank. Because I'd want a bunch of them. All right. Oh man, we had a lot of chatting going on here, and I was not keeping up at all. All right. We're gonna get to the bottom here. Your logo is A for Aquarium Fantasy. His logo is A for awesome. Hey, we got TJ Autocross. What's up? What's up, guys? All right, so I want to really focus on this because I think this will be a close segue to where we want to end up on our conversation at the hour here. Yeah. What drove you to become so involved in the clubs and the swaps? Because the average person, maybe you become leadership in one club, maybe, or most people even shy away from that much responsibility. What drove you to become so involved?
Well, I mean, Livebearers was like when I first came out to GCCA, I discovered, the swap there. I discovered a Livebearers meeting afterwards. And Rick Bornstein was extremely friendly. He's always been positive. So I think, he had a lot for me, to get involved with that. And, there. And then really it was when we got, I would attend other things. And I'm thinking one of the other things was it's something that Teresa and I could do together. Mm-hmm. We can go to all these different clubs and such, so it's kind of one of those, as the kids moved out of the house, it's like, okay, we're no longer going to all their athletic events and things. So let's start going to these things, And then one of the things on Greenwater was that, at one point I said, I'd love to be on the your Facebook and internet and web committee, that kind of thing is what I said. I said, I was interested in it. And suddenly I found myself in charge of getting their email list together and doing their web page and doing their Facebook groups and doing the membership and doing, it's like, okay, so I suddenly got into all the computer stuff for Greenwater, So that's kind of what first got me really involved in Greenwater and things.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's a good skill to have, because when it comes to computers and trying to make things work, I am just awful.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with taking over Livebearer is that Rick had all of this nice automation and all this stuff set up on his website and such. And I mean, I can't believe how much struggle I've had to, figure out how all of it works. But at least, I mean, I can look at it from the back end. It's a MySQL database, okay, and I understand databases real well, and I can go in, and sometimes I even do it that way. Okay, I go against the tables, figure out, okay, here is where that's located, and then go back into the website and figure out through the tools. Okay, that's the tool you get to go after it. So it's like, it's. Just because of the background I have, I can navigate from the other direction too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going from the GUI, figure out where it is should be in the GUI. It's like, so that's but so I've got we had our original website that with Greenwater that the company decided to discontinue. And so currently Greenwater is actually using the free websites that come with OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive. So we're actually doing a OneDrive website, and just pointing to that. So that works well. Whereas with Chicago Livebearer Association, we got a full-fledged Joomla, type website with all the bells and whistles and all the third-party products and all that kind of stuff for managing everything. So I've got both ends, extremely simple website and a very complicated website.
Yeah, like a full build website, and then the ones that are just like the slap together one, right? Like that's.
And of course, there is still a ChicagoLivebearer.org that's out there. That is, a OneDrive website with all the links to the regular one. But, it's like, okay, so yes, but you can reach us on that website too. It's like, but it's attached to the Chicago Livebearers or Chicago Livebearers at gmail.com, that email account. So it's like, it's got a website attached to it. So,
Good.
And things. So so the technical is part of what got me really involved in Greenwater. And the thing
you got a certain set of skills, a necessary set of skills for them. And then you have an interest that matches too, which is that definitely makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, and Teresa's always been good at pushing me into stuff.
I wanted to ask actually, is Teresa, do you have your own projects of fish keeping, or are you more of like a Bob supporter, and then you like to take the club stuff, or?
No, I like quarries, so more interesting quarries. But I'm more of a kind of in the back supporting, and definitely supporting him. It's one thing I love about all of these groups, they're great people and great friends. And I do like to travel. So when we go away, I always find things to do, with Bob that we can do around the fish events. And as long as it kind of includes some fish, he's really, up for traveling. Yeah. Otherwise, he's kind of a stay-at-home guy.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
So I've kind of found my way around all that, to find things interest me. But before we really got into fish, I was into all kinds of artwork and fiber art and beads, and he went with me everywhere.
Yeah.
He never complained. So,
although we would find opportunities like, she was in a show in England and things. So of course we stopped by and visited Stephen Elliott, who was president of the European Guppy Association at the time. So got to see his fish room and things. So it's like,
nice.
But
Yeah.
that's one of the things she figured out, that you could get me to go anywhere if there were guppies there.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's very true.
So we're going to, we go to all these different islands in the Caribbean, and you're talking to the guides, and they're always saying, oh yeah, people are out there to see the cichlids and things and such, all these big fish and things. And here I'm looking at the little ones at the edge, see what live bears are out there.
I love it, man. I love
That's
it.
my, see what the native guppies are looking like and things. And it's like,
So my role is more administrative.
Yeah.
But
yeah, as I said, I was just going to say, yeah. So she gets me to go at the different things. So I know that we had a question here as to how many tanks I had, and I don't know if you wanted to show any of the pictures that I had up on them. But
you know what? I wonder.
I was looking at, the list I did there. It's like, I have 7 tanks that are cichlids, and 7 that have lemias, and 9 that are swordtails and platies, and 3 for mollies, and 2 that are heterodronia formosas, and 16 that are endlers, and 65 that are swordtail guppies, and 85 tanks that are delta and half moon guppies. I think I got 1 that's just a aquatic plant tank, 3 of them that are my quarantined tanks. So I think that comes out to be 197 tanks, something like that. So
Nice.
yeah, so
Henry, we were arguing about this. How many tanks do you have? Because I think Bob might have the most tanks out of anyone I know so far. but Henry might be close to you. So
but part of it just has to do with guppies. You end up with a lot of tanks for every line that you have. So it's like multiplies it out. And I do swordtail guppies are the ones that I especially do. So I actually have a whole room just dedicated to swordtail guppies. Okay, and it's got, I think, 51 tanks in that room. And all those are just swordtail guppies. And so now my delta guppy room, I'm getting areas of it that are all swordtail guppies as well. So it's like, kind of moving in there. So I think, as I say, with my last count, I still have more delta and half moons than I have swordtails, but it's getting moved over, and also as I move more into types of live bearers, I can, and that's one of the things, every fish I get, I have to decide which one I'm going to add, right? So I may decide, okay, I'm no longer going to keep my half black blues, or I'm no longer going to keep my half black purples or something like that, because guess what? I have black purples now. I have upper swordtail guppies that that someone that actually came from China. It's like, okay, it's like, So so suddenly that line got replaced with a swordtail line, swordtail guppy line. So it's like, but that's kind of how it ends up with, is that every time I get a new line, I've got to figure out what to get rid of. So
real quick.
Branton, run the show for a second here, because I just had to fix my StreamYard on my phone because I accidentally ended the permissions for my phone to talk to StreamYard through my camera and my iPhone, or my microphone. Try to share your stuff, but it's going to take me a second to get this set up. So go.
Okay,
sorry,
well, real quick, I'm going to let you know that I was right about Henry. He has 220 tanks currently.
Oh, gotcha.
He's got more than me.
That's deep, man.
I call that tankitis.
Tankitis.
Yeah. Or collectoritis. There's a few words for it.
Yeah.
So now, how long does it take you to maintenance all those aquariums?
Well, I have overflows on pretty much all of them. So it means that, I have a drip irrigation system. So I kind of set the thing for, if I set it for 600 gallons, I've got 3,000 gallons of water in my tanks, so 600 gallons will do a 20% water change. So I just set it for that, and I go and do other stuff while the water change is happening.
Nice.
Yeah,
and
but I still have to. Yeah, I still have it. It takes. I mean, I spend an awful lot of time just removing duckweed. Okay.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you've got plants, how often are you ripping plants out of there?
Yeah, and then yes, I'm often. I'll be removing plants from one tank, and it's depends on. Okay, I might go back into quarantine methods and all that kind of stuff, but normally it's like I may dip them in alum, and I may but most of the time the tanks that have a lot of plants that are just filling up the tank, well, they just get moved to another tank. The plants get moved. So, but I gotta be careful because it's amazing how guppies can just hide in the plants when you're moving them.
Yeah.
So, you kind of always have to go through some kind of quarantine stage to make sure that yes, there are no guppies in the plants.
Yeah. Now I have that problem with shrimp because I have different shrimp in all my tanks, so it's real hard trying not to transfer those as well.
Yeah. And I have a lot of shrimp in my guppy tanks too. In the fry tanks and things. Yeah, I've got a line of golden back yellow shrimp.
Okay.
And they're neocardinias. And actually, I was going to say it's Teresa's. She has the original tank that had them in there, but we entered them in Aquashella shrimp contest this last time, and yes, they took first place. So
nice.
Yeah. So we have
very nice.
Had that, yeah. So,
yeah, I've been thinking about entering some shrimp shows next year. I think it'd be kind of cool. I got a line of Bloody Marys that are absolutely gorgeous.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can share my screen on my phone, which is what I was hoping to do. And I don't think that's an option. And I don't have the videos on my computer, which means I can't screen share them.
Can you pull them up? And you can't pull them up from Facebook and share them? Or?
You know what?
Facebook
I never logged into my Facebook, but that's not a bad idea. I could try that. That's actually a good idea. Let me try that.
Yeah, because I don't even have the option to do it from my phone.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Like I just noticed that it wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah, it must be PC only.
Yeah. And I have never logged on to my Facebook from anything other than my phone ever. So this is going to be weird.
So Kyle, couldn't you just send that to your email and then go to your email on your PC?
I was just trying to, and I think it's too big.
Okay.
I think. But like I said, I'm also pretty dumb when it comes to this stuff. So I could be just messing it up. But it wouldn't actually, you know what, hon, I might have taken a second to save to my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I think about it, because I saved it off of the messenger.
Yeah, because that would be the easiest way.
Oh man. But anyways,
I guess worst. So what are we trying to share right now?
because he sent me actually a video of a walk around, like a video and some pictures of a walk around of his room.
And what do I click? Okay, I'm in here. If I want to share something, how would I do that?
Oh, you can go to present.
Oh, okay. So if I
The
hit
present button, and I think that I can then bring it up from there.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
okay. Interesting. Yeah, I see slides and videos. Okay. Or share my screen. Okay, let me see if I.
Yeah, so if you want to share a screen and then go to your videos that you have on there and.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can. What do I want to hear?
Because if you don't, I'm just getting to it now.
Okay, good.
I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing if I can.
Oh, what the heck?
Figure out.
Oh my God. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So a little bit of dead air. All right, which one is it? Which one is it? All right, so we
I
got.
don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure that I want to show all these anyway. But yeah, it shows you how messy my fish room is.
No, you think your fish room is messy, man? I think that you're just being hard on yourself because, dude, your fish room, to me, when I saw it, I was like, I mean, that's exactly what you expect out of a fish room. Of course, it's never going to be like perfect. But you got a water setup. You got a lot of stuff going on, man.
I'm trying to see if okay, so I've got tabs.
But yeah, I understand the privacy there. So if you feel like you want to bring any of those videos up, I will let you do that, and I will not.
I was thinking I could.
Because I understand that.
Select the tab to share.
Yeah, don't share that.
What, this one?
This one's
the
floor has suffered, so share the floor.
Yeah, and I'm looking at. Okay, I know one of these is going to be it, so I'm going to try this one just to see. Okay.
Yeah, and it'll come up behind stage first, and I'll have to bring it up. So we'll have a layer of like.
Let's go ahead and go this one.
Okay, so you want me to bring this up to the stage?
Yeah. So Teresa wants it further on in here.
Yeah, further on.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I mean, this is kind of what you see. You know, I got pipes everywhere on my tanks and that kind of thing. You know, I'm going to go to the next video, actually. Let's see what we got. So this is kind of my living room tanks. You know,
Of course, we have big tanks in the living room.
Yeah, 55-gallon tanks. You know, we got some angelfish and some other cichlids there. I've got another tank that's mostly bristlenose plecos, and we got some of the different. You can see these, right? There's
yeah. That's up.
Okay, so this is kind of some of the bristlenose plecos, you know. And that was so here's a tank that's a guppy tank also in the living room. Yeah, it's like okay. So we've got
you got some snails in there.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You got it. Okay. And then let's see, there's another pleco. Let's see, some more plecos. Yeah, and some more guppies. Thanks. But yeah, this is kind of some of the plecos that are in the tank there. I threw in some pellets to get them all together, you know.
Yeah.
So they're bristlenose plecos. There's some more of the guppy tank. Okay, so this is kind of what my fish room looks like. So yeah, so the way this happened is, okay, originally I was doing my water changes with a hose, siphon and such, and a hose attached to a garden. Anyway, a garden hose attached to a solid block carbon filter. That kind of thing. And well, okay, so then I decided, I'd slap together this kind of siphon, permanent siphon, and none of it was glued, right? Well, 10 years later, still none of it's glued, you know? So that's kind of my original, you know, what I started with and things and kind of how everything went together. So I've got all these tanks that are, you know, like that. This is one of the first areas where I had fish tanks, okay? And originally, it's two 55-gallon stands, okay, next to each other. I originally had two 55-gallon tanks on the top and two 30-gallon tanks on the bottom. Okay, well, then I replaced it with four 20-gallon high tanks on the top next to each other. And now it's 10-gallon tanks in a row on the top and 8 on the bottom. Then I threw another stand on the side for 3 more tanks. You know, it's like, okay. So it kind of evolved into that. But it's still, once again, I just slapped together a bunch of pipes for doing my water changes. So it's not really, you know, eye-appealing, but it works, you know. It's like, okay, that's the kind of thing. Whoops, just hit the wrong button. Sorry. Let's try where I'm at. I don't know why I did go to the next one. Let's just try another. Oh, sorry, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, how do we get out of this again? No. Sorry, I'm gonna.
No, it's okay, man. No worries.
And that's I don't know why it's not letting me exit here. I don't have an exit button, but okay, let's try this button. There we go. Sorry, okay, so let's just try the next one here and just see what it does. Okay, so we went through all of these and I got down to like the end here. Oh, okay, so I'm not quite into it. Okay, so that's into there, that room, that room, that room. Okay, so now we get into.
You saw that one.
Yeah, we got these. Well, I'm trying to. Okay, that's another video going through them all. Okay, so now we have the second room. Okay, so now this one, at least what I did is rather than have the tanks up against the wall, I had them, so that I can get to them from both sides. So that way I have a side that doesn't have all the plumbing in front of me when I'm looking at it. But as you can see, I still have a lot of problem with duckweed on there. And same thing over here. It's like, we've got, so this is, where I've got all my swordtail guppies, and same thing there. So that's kind of what I've got there. And then my third fish room, I'm sorry. And so, around the tanks, I've got all my Daphnia buckets. So I think I've got like 12 buckets and one fish tank full of Daphnia. It's like, okay. So, and then, okay. So this is my third fish room here. Now, this one is where I finally got around to gluing these pipes together because this one is up against the wall with the pipes behind it. So everything that's outside the tank is glued because I can't get back there to do anything, right? So it's got to be that way. And then the parts from the front, that comes apart. So when I'm working the tank, I can take the overflow out and things like that. And it's like, as I say, originally, 10 years ago when I set it up, I thought was, next summer I'm going to go ahead and drill all the tanks, right?
Yeah.
Proper system, But 10 years later, nope, still running the overflows. So now it's like, well, it works. I mean, they pretty much are.
What's the difference? What's the difference? It's just a little bit cleaner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the stress of drilling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, no, the thing is you have to maintain a siphon here, but I very rarely have my siphons fail. Okay. So, but I do, every time I do a water change, I do have to, every half hour walk around and make sure that all the siphons are working.
We have a big stock of fish towels. I call them fish towels.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, but this is, so as I say here, I've actually finally glued everything. Decided that's that one. Try another.
Hey Bob, I got to shout this out just so you know he's here. Adam said hi, and he's saying you're doing a great job.
Hey, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I've got other ones where, it's, hey, this was a cage. Now I've got tanks in it. Same thing here. This is a cage. Guess what? It's got tanks in it now. It's like, okay. So different setups there. And then, of course, I was saying, I've got more tanks ready to go if I really wanted to add the other 4 and make it, even 200.
Of course.
It's like, they're ready to go there. It's like, and I could actually put them in there. So that would be if I needed more space for quarantine, But okay, and this is my overflow system. So basically all it is I have a solid block carbon filter, and this is just a regular lawn sprinkler timer so that I can set how many gallons it's going to do.
Okay.
That. So, and then it's broken up into 4 segments of, and actually then it splits up further in the back too. But so they're all drip irrigation system. So the 10-gallon tanks get 1 gallon per hour. The 20-gallon tanks get 2 gallons per hour. Anything else gets 3 gallons per hour. And some of the 5-gallon tanks get a half gallon per hour. That kind of thing. So every hour is a 10% change in the tank, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the, let's try the next one. There's, I thought I had a nice picture of the timer itself. So this timer, yes, if I put it on 600 gallons, I get a 20% change in all of it. So that's kind of, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here.
Yeah.
That's kind of just the walkthrough of the what we have.
Now, how often are you changing water?
Daily.
Daily? Okay.
Yeah. Normally I do a 10% daily, and then every once in a while I'll do like a 20 to 40% water change.
Okay.
So like that.
Yeah, and you were saying that you have about 6,000 gallons, so that's a hefty amount of water you're going through over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have about 3,000 gallons of tanks.
Oh, all right, for 3,000. Yep.
Yeah, right in there. It's a combination it's half 10 gallons and half 20 gallons, that kind of things.
For sure. So, hey, we're at about the hour mark. Do you want to talk about what Chicago Livebearer has coming up here? And I'm going to try to check out and see if Ed is in the mix, so he could talk about the giveaway he's hosting.
Yeah, let's bring Ed up here. I mean, actually, it'd be nice to have Ed meet you guys, and maybe you guys can kind of go back and forth for a little while. Ed is very knowledgeable, and I think that would make for some good conversation as well.
Yeah, I mean, among the things that we're having coming up, I'm going, is that really next weekend? It's like, yes, it's next weekend.
Yeah,
so,
man. Coming up fast.
Yeah, Mike Hellweg is going to be speaking on culturing live foods, and I'm going to say, you could say he wrote the book on it. Mike Hellweg, Tropical Fish Hobbyist, Culturing Live Foods. So it's like, yeah, that's he's going to be presenting at our next Chicago Livebearer. He actually is one of our main members, and we always have he has his table next to ours at the swaps and things. So
okay,
yeah, so it's nice of him to volunteer to do this. And then one after that, they asked me to do a presentation on guppy judging, basically show judge. So I'm going to do a presentation on how guppies are judged. I haven't quite decided if it's going to be IFGA centered or if I'm actually going to compare the European to the Asian and that kind of stuff. But there's different, but what we look at and how we point systems for guppies and that kind of stuff. And then one of the ones coming up in February, Pat Hartman is going to talk about reintroduction of species. So that's one of the things where you have these species that are extinct in the wild. We have them in our tanks, so especially like Odiad species. So we've been, working with the Mexico government and universities down in Mexico and different communities to actually, part of what they have to look at, first of all, they've got to determine that the fish that we have are actually the original fish. So there's different genetic tests that they're doing for that. They'll take the fish and put them into ponds in the local areas, so they're used to living outside, that kind of thing. They have to go and figure out, well, why is the fish extinct? Is it because of pollution? Is it because of other species? Is it different? So often once they get the pollution problems cleared up, the species will actually outcompete anything else. So the fact is, but they will work on getting rid of some of the invasive species to bring the fish back. And then it's also getting the community involved so they're aware of it and that they know that, yes, we're bringing this back here, and, different, presentation in the schools and things like that. So, everyone's, knows that these are there. And so there's different things like that. But yeah, we've been working. So anyway, Pat Hartman is going to be doing the presentation on that in February. So that's but it is one of the things that, yes, when we've had our different rare livebearer auctions in the Chicago Livebearers. That's one of the things that we often put our proceeds to, is that kind of work for reintroducing species. So it's like, you're using your domestic species of livebearers supporting the wild cousins, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah, I thought I was looking and listening to a little bit of a story about like the tequilas being reintroduced and everything, and I had found out about those before I went to the club, and it was this fish that caught my eye, and I was like, man, one of these days I'm gonna try to get a hold of it, and it blew my mind that the first Chicago Livebearer meeting I go to had the fish I wanted. I was able to snag him through the auction there, and it just I was like, wow, I need to be more involved in these meetings because there's some really cool stuff happening. And then after the tequilas, I get the pygmy swords too, which was another one that was on the list of like stuff I was going to keep my eyes out for, and it just blew my mind. But all right, so we got another local legend in the house. We got Ed. What's up, man? What's up?
Hey,
how are you?
Great.
Great.
Yeah, it was a long day for me. I was in Youngstown, Ohio today for an auction. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. 30 bags
what
of
auction?
fish to the auction.
What auction was going on out there?
It was the Youngstown Area Aquarium Society's fall auction.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Took out some goodies to share with some people, and left early. It took me 2.5 hours to get home. So,
do they have a club specialty out there, or is it more of just like a general club?
it's a general club.
General.
I really wish someone close to our area would do a Livebearer specialty club. Me and a couple friends have been talking about it. Just never transpired.
I gotcha. That's all right. So, do you? So, just to connect everything, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, Ed is the guy that's sponsoring the giveaway today. He is awesome for doing that. And do you want to talk about the species a little bit? And maybe I actually have the video because I had my stuff together a little bit today. So let's show them off. You guys can check out this video. I know a lot of people listen, so I'll give you guys a second to catch up, but I'm going to be showing the video of the giveaway species here. So these are the Scyphia multipunctata. I think I pronounced everything correctly.
I want to hear you say the location again, because
I know we were doing Tengen secure.
Here, let me pull it up. I'll give it a shot.
All right, Brandon's gonna try it again. I love this. This is fun for me.
All right. Tengen Sicaro?
Close. Tangent Saquaro.
Tangent Saquaro. Okay.
So
Tangent Saquaro.
Tangent Saquaro is a municipality in the state of Milwaukee in central Mexico. And as Bob was saying earlier about ESUs, this particular species is very important to keep the ASU because 4 different varieties within this species. And one of the locales, which I have, is completely extirpated now.
Right.
Each ESU from this species has a little bit of a different coloring and spotting to them. So one of the things I try to tell people is please keep all of the information with them and to keep those strains pure, because these fish are greatly diminishing in the wild, and it's going to be our responsibility to keep these bloodlines going.
Where did you get yours from?
So I get the majority of my goodiettes from private collections from people I know. Over 3/4 of my fish room comes from Greg Sage.
Oh, great. Okay.
I've known Greg for about 7 years.
Yeah.
So he got me started with goodiettes around that time, and I have probably 24 different species I'm working with now.
Yeah, I know. One of the videos that Andy has is his getting that same location, and things. He got 3 bags of those. I believe they came from Greg Sage as well. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
So I also have Lago de Camaforo, which is one of the national parks within Milwaukee, Mexico.
Mhm.
That particular site was extirpated a few years ago, so it's extremely important that we keep that particular bloodline here.
Right.
All right, so give me a second here. Let's play this. I think I cut your audio off when I tried to play it because I was going to try to play it while you were giving the description, and then I
Okay.
noticed your audio dropped off. So let's
Okay.
see if it's going to. To be clear, guys, these are the giveaways for tonight, or this is the giveaway. I can't talk at the same time as I play the video, so this is the video.
It says you can tap for sound. So.
Oh, is that? Okay, so I couldn't find the tap for sound.
Yeah.
It's a tap for sound, but hey, it's all right.
Man, those fish are so cool.
Dude.
And that's what
Absolutely
I'm
gorgeous.
saying is like, here's a fish that, yes, it's a rare live bearer, but it actually could do well in the hobby because
Yeah.
it's a really small fish. It gets like 2.5 inches, and it's not extremely aggressive. It, you know, the fact that the young are born fairly large size, you know, and things, and it's like, and it's a beautiful fish, you know. So I think that's one that, yes, we could get it out there. You may find a lot of people keeping it, you know.
The only thing I'm seeing is folks need to realize Goodeids are not
Mhm.
like tropical fish. They're cold water fish.
Right.
When you get
Yeah.
them above 76 degrees, they've been known to go sterile. You can actually sterilize them.
Oh,
So keeping me and a couple friends have been exchanging data, including with a couple ichthyologists and biologists. If Goodeids are kept for an extended period of time over 76 degrees, they can go sterile. So that's real important to remember if you're going to have Goodeids, is keeping them cool.
yeah,
And this
definitely
is-
no heater in their tanks, you know.
No.
And you almost have to have a chiller if you're in a real hot area.
So what I do in my basement, I heat my basement to 74 degrees, and my water stays between 72 and 73. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, that just keeping them cool is one of the biggest things.
Now, is that all of them, Ed, or are there exceptions?
Oh,
to
There are two
There's not
species.
many exceptions.
There are two species that can take warmer water. Antinovius coweri,
hot springs.
which is the blue tail, or I hate to say this name because there's 3 species within this that are called the red-tailed goodyead. So that's Eiseni, Dowadroi, and lion's eye. Those can be kept slightly warmer too. But for me, I just prefer keeping them at 74 and you're golden.
Mm-hmm. So those ones that can go warmer don't mind being kept cool.
Right. But
Okay.
so what I generally tell people is just to be safe, keep all of them around 74. That's what I maintain here. So I fully insulated my fish room and I maintain the same temperature year round. However, for a month or two, I will drop the temperature a little lower and give them almost a winter season. And what I find that they tend to do better when they have that little bit of a rest cycle for sort of like making a winter season for them.
I was gonna say that's kind of what I'm doing. The Iliodon furcidans that you gave me, they're kind of going through that winter thing right now because I'm not running the heaters. The house in the winter is going to be heated at 72, so their tank's running about.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So their tank's running about 68 right now, and then in the summertime they're more around 74.
Yeah, you know what? My opinion, take the heater out altogether. You're not going to need.
No,
that.
there is no. I don't heat any of my tanks.
Oh, I thought you said you had a heater. Okay.
Nope.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, no, I heat the house, so.
Yeah.
Or air conditioning your fish room.
Yeah.
I do that too. So it's cheaper to heat a fish room than it is to heat individual tanks.
Yep.
So, yeah. Also tonight with this giveaway, I'm also giving away a bag of my fish food. That's my
Yeah.
recipe that I have made. And what it is, it's specifically formulated for Goodeids. So this is the herbivore blend. Scythias predominantly need a lot more plant material. So what I recommend with Scythia is making sure they're getting, I give spirulina, chlorella, algae, things like that. I give baby brine a couple times a week, and then I'll give them some other proteins once in a while. But I predominantly do plant-based foods with them. The best way to explain with Scythia.
Hello?
Hey.
Oh, we just lost Ed. Okay, I thought we lost all of us.
Yeah, I thought
For a
we did
second,
too for a
it felt like
second.
it. Oh no, Ed. Well, he does this every now and then. I remember the last time he would pop.
I'm here now.
Okay, I
There you
appreciate it. All right, so we're all good.
Remember, I live in God's country. They have to pipe sunshine to me.
No, I get you, man. I get you. No worries. No worries.
I think I'm froze up too. Oh, there I go.
Yeah, no, you're good. You've been popping in and out. What I did was I went around and I turned every device off on my phone or in my house that I could that was using Wi-Fi. Took my phone off Wi-Fi and it made it a little better. And then we added Ed, and I think it started happening again a little bit, but we're fine. We're fine.
It's all my fault.
It is what it is. What's up?
It's all my fault.
Yeah, it's all Ed's fault.
we're gonna blame AT&T.
Yeah, no, that's the real culprit for sure. AT&T is definitely the culprit. But yeah, that and all right. So I want to answer this for Zen real quick. Her trout stay at 75-ish. Should I remove my heater? My house stays at 68. I'm guessing the answer is yes.
So Goodeids can withstand water temperatures literally as low as 65 and go as high as 76. I keep all of mine at around 74. I'll let them drop to about 70 to 68 for a month or two out of the year. But and with I just play it safe with everyone, because I did mention the two lines that can withstand heat. But just to play it safe with most people, I tell them if it gets above 75, 76, then you need to be concerned. Because a prime example, myself, Greg, and 3 other breeders in the country that work with Furcidens and other Goodeids, we received a lot of messages this year saying we have Furcidens and they're not breeding. We did a little investigating. Turned out that some people were keeping their trout Goodeids at 80 degrees and completely sterilized them. Completely sterilized them. So over a period of time, it will completely sterilize them. And it's a shame, because the trout Goodeid, although it's not a critically endangered fish, there's a good chance that one day it could be. We all know Mexico with the way the waterways are. And it's a shame. It's a beautiful fish, and now there's a bunch of them that are sterilized. So one of the things I try to tell people, I'm happy to share with people. I like it when people want to work with these fish, and I want them to be set up to succeed. So I always tell people, working with Goodeids is not like working with tropical fish. So you have to maintain good water quality, pH of 7.6 to 7.8. TDS should never teeter over 300 to 350, and keep that temperature down between, like I said, they can go as low as 65 as long as it's gone gradual. Best water temperature is 68 to 76. I keep mine at 74.
Yeah, and I think that this comment right here, okay, I had heard 72 to 77 was better for trout Goodeids, and I definitely think someone was out there saying that the trout Goodeids were better in warm water. For some reason, I even feel like I remember hearing that somewhere. And I know that as like a general rule that all live bears do better in cool water, as a general like rule. Cooler water, if that's the way you want to look at it. But yeah, I definitely think I remember hearing this as well, though. And so,
respectfully, I don't mean any disrespect to the person that mentioned that.
Yeah.
But respectfully, trout Goodeids above 77 degrees will go sterile.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's Yeah. No, I think that is definitely a common misconception for that. 'Cause
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of people say.
That's what it is. It's not that anyone's doing anything deliberate, because most people they think it's a tropical fish, and they're not. They have to stay cooler.
Which, honestly, by where I live, is a perfect type of fish. We have cooler weather for a lot of the year, and so I mean, like, I think it's the ideal fish for someone like me. I don't want to run heaters. I don't want to have to deal with that stuff. Sometimes I actually have the opposite problem, which I'm like, I'm like teetering on too hot in my house. So, like you said, like,
my electric bill is already $375 a month. I don't need to do heaters and tanks.
That hurts.
Well, see, and now my thing is, like, I have recently made the switch to not running any heaters. I have 2 heaters in my Neocardinia shrimp tanks in my bedroom, just because it gets real cold in that room. It must not be insulated well. But short of that, I don't run any heaters in my tanks, and I kind of rely on, I run a lot of filters on my tanks. Even just running those filters kind of acts as like a little heater in the winter months to, keep them to the point where I don't need to run heaters. So
any way you can save money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and then the worry about the heaters. You hear stories all the time about heaters sticking on and frying fish, and it's like, I've honestly never had that happen to me. So I've been lucky so far, but just to not even, have to think about that anymore is kind of neat.
Yeah, just happened to one of my friends. He lost 150 Psittacara morai, the blue dolphin that he got from my bloodline. And he loved them, and he had them for about 5 years, and they were doing very well. Heater stuck. He came down, and he had boiled fish.
And I mean, it can even go the other way, I mean, if you're keeping real tropical fish, I guess, those heaters fail and fail off, and they get too cold and pass as well. So I've kind of drifted towards where heating the space is a lot more efficient.
It is, absolutely. I agree. My friend Derek Bodrock taught me that a few years back, and he was absolutely right. So what I do, my fish room is insulated, but I do run an internal heater that I have built into the fish room. In the wintertime, I do the temperature a little warmer, but then I'll drop it down for, like I said, 2 months, usually in January, February, and give them that cool time. And then when I start them up in March, that starts triggering them to start spawning.
All right, guys. So I was doing this while you guys were talking because I didn't want to have a dead spot. I was able to launch the giveaway, and it works. So it's live. We got it populated, and FishFam announced it in the chat. So it's actually working this time, and I'm very stoked for that. So if you would like a chance to win, we have hashtag Livebearer. You comment that in the comments, and you get a chance to get an amazing group of some amazing Livebearers, and one that I think the 4 of us or 5 of us here agree is one that could go really well in the hobby. So if you're looking to breed a Livebearer that's a little different than everything else around you, this one might be the one to grab up. So
just remember, it's not a tropical fish.
Just so everyone knows, this is my most prolific species in the fish room. So I literally right now have 5 tanks going with them of colonies, and I have about 6 tanks of juveniles and young adults.
Nice, very nice.
Now, Ed, do you kind of want to give us a rundown, I guess, on specifics of this species you're giving away?
So I kind of thought I did a little bit. So this is...
Yeah, we did a little bit, but yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Sure, I'm happy to do it again. So this is Scyphia multipunctata, Tangisaquaro, Moacan, Mexico. So this specific fish comes from a waterway which is in the municipality of Tangisaquaro in Moacan, central Mexico. It's an isolated waterway, and as Bob mentioned earlier, there are 4 ESUs for this species, which means there's 4 different locations. So when I send you these fish, you'll get the ESU and location information. I respectfully say, please, please, please keep that information. One of the things working with critically endangered fish, it's not just breeding the fish, it's keeping all of that information so that we know the localities and where these fish are coming from. So it's very important to keep. So what I do, I don't know if you guys can see on my tanks, I label the tanks because sometimes I get a little forgetful and I want to remember where the locales are. And that helps me a lot. But that's one thing that's very important when you're working with critically endangered fish, is keeping all that information. And this particular strain was collected by Dr. Lambert.
And I put you on center there because I wanted everyone to really understand that like the locations, for lack of a better term, even though there is a better term, it is a species. So just treat it as a species, treat it separately. Like it's an evolutionary significant unit. And I'm going to keep using that term because I like it.
Well, you know, so here's what it is. You know, there are some critically endangered groups on Facebook and stuff, and a lot of us get labeled as, what's the word I want to use? Difficult. And it's not that we're difficult. They're just very important that you understand how to work with them. And a lot of us are happy to help people with them. So I tell anyone, and I've said this before, if anyone has a question, reach out. I'm happy to help. I'd rather help you than for you to have an unsuccessful situation that really upsets you with these fish, because they're not like, as Bob said and as I've said, they're not like taking care of tropical fish.
Yeah. And see, I would say it's more passionate would be a good.
Yeah,
good
Skull
descriptor.
said protective. Yeah. Protective, passionate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you want to.
Yeah, I was speaking to a group of people today about, again, I hate using this word, the red-tailed goodyead. And the reason I don't like using that is because there's 3 species that fall under the red-tailed goodyead, which is Eiseneye, Lion's Eye, and Dowadroe. How you can tell them apart, so up until 2016, they were all Eiseneye. 2016, they were DNA sequenced and found to be 3 different species. And how you tell them is through their locations. So that's why it's important to keep all that information. And today, someone was saying, oh, I have red-tailed goodyeads. Okay, what do you have? Oh, I have red-tailed goodyeads. There it is. So that particular picture, that's Dowadroe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
That's
Sam Scale Sprint.
When you become a geek like me with goodyeads, you can just look and basically tell what they are. But like, if there's one thing I could stress with people, if they want to work with critically endangered fish, by all means, please do it. But realize that keeping all that information is very important, and keeping those bloodlines clean and true. So one of the things I just tell people respectfully, there's no room for aquarium strain with critically endangered fish, because it actually depletes the bloodlines over time. So that's why I tell people it's very important to keep all that information. So
Yeah,
I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, dude, I think
I love it, man. I mean, I think it needs to be said a lot more. That way people are aware.
And here's what it is. I get some people get very, what's the word I want to use? Militant about it. And I don't know about you folks, but if someone starts talking to me like that, I'm like a kid. I immediately shut it out. If you really want, if we all, here's the way what I tell people. I remember in the 70s and 80s, our hobby was very popular. We had a lot of people in the hobby. Our hobby is slowly dying because people are getting the wrong information, and they think, oh, aquariums are so hard to take care of. And they're not getting the information they need, and they have all these losses. So for me, I love my hobby, and I love to share with people. So I always tell people, if you've had a bad experience, I apologize, but I assure you, myself and a lot of my friends, such as Greg Sage and Kate, a few others, we're open to help you. So we tell anyone, just feel free to reach out to us. Make sure you're getting the right information if you really want to make a difference with these fish, because of the work we've done in the hobby, Zuganeticus tequila and Scipia francese were reintroduced back into the wild after being extinct. So,
Dude.
I mean, there is that is conservation. So,
Mhm.
you know, and
How-
if we just start willy-nilly aquarium strains, will eventually deplete these bloodlines where eventually they wouldn't be able to be reintroduced.
Now to elaborate on that, how are those species doing currently?
Okay, so let me make something a little clear first. So people think, oh, so they take my fish from my fish room and put them in the wild. That's not what they do. There's a couple aqua labs in Mexico, one in Jalisco. So what happens? So Francese was taken from Dr. Lyons and a few other collectors. They were taken to the lab. They were bred there for a year or two. And the reason they did that, because within the aquarium hobby, there are certain viruses and diseases that aquarium fish can carry that could be introduced in the wild. So they wanted to make sure that what didn't happen. So right now, Scipia francese was reintroduced back almost 3 years ago, and it was really cool. They reintroduced them back on the Day of the Dead, and the villagers got really into it, and they're really what they're focusing on is a lot of these organizations are teaching the villages how important it is for conservation, and they're empowering the people to make a difference. They released Scipia francese, I believe, on the west side of Twitchland. And in 1 year, they're starting to see populations of them on the other side now. So they are stabilizing. Zuganeticus tequila, the tequila split fin, has stabilized again. So that's one of the reasons I tell people it's so important to keep all that information. Because one of you one day may be the person in the hobby that saves one of these species.
Yeah,
And
that's got
you saying
to
stuff
be
like that.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think about it in terms of like the saltwater portion of the hobby too. All the work that's being done with like the Great Barrier Reef. That honestly was the first thing that I heard about when I started getting into aquariums that got me to look into conservation in general. Because it's like the bleaching of the corals, the fact that we're losing. I mean, something that I view is like they're like alien species. Corals are so unique, dude. We cannot like, yeah. And I mean, I'm not trying to go on a whole diatribe, but if we don't have people like you pushing this and like, man, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's so.
But you know what? Every person can do this. This is
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what it is. I'm just fortunate that I have the space to have as many species as I have, and I'm fortunate to have the friends I have that have mentored me. So I was the chair of the CARES program for a while. So one of the things I did was I took in the registrations for people registering fish, and I would submit them to Dr. Paul Loisel and Dr. John Lyons. And Dr. Loisel, who helped start CARES, his mission statement for CARES is if every person in the hobby set aside one tank for a critically endangered species, we would be able to do such great work in conservation and keeping these bloodlines going. So right now, with the Goodeids, there were 42 species. One is completely gone and we'll never get it back. There are 8 others there were 2 that were extinct in the wild and reintroduced back in, and a lot of others are critically endangered. There's only maybe 2 or 3 species that are not as of now not of concern, and one of those is the trout goodeiid. But when I tell people, all of us could do this. You know, just set aside an aquarium for one species and maintaining it. You know, that's the difference. So I mean, I don't feel what I do is anything special. I'm just one of those people passionate by it, and I'm one of those people. When I go in, I do it all. I go all in.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually a really good question to ask. How about aeration? Because we have a lot of people out there running no filter tanks, no air, stuff like that. I'm not saying that we're going to suggest that they run it like that, because any critically endangered species should be ran in the safest way possible. I think that's probably the way that we should go about that. But what do you think?
Goodeids need high oxygenation.
All right.
So they would. So one of the things that I've learned, and also one of my friends, Greg Sage, has learned over the years, we don't use glass tops on our aquariums with the Goodyears. They need really good airflow and gas exchange. So I'll show you what I use. Let me find one.
So you use the egg crate, don't you, Egg?
That's what I was guessing. Yeah.
Yep.
There was that grid stuff, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I use this.
Knit mesh.
Yeah, so this I get offline. This one's a little bit sturdier, it's more rigid. I put this over the top so you have more airflow and airspace. When you have a glass lid on, it holds heat in and you're not getting as much airflow. And what we have found by doing this, they do a lot better, and it helps to maintain the heat and airflow better. But Goodyears absolutely need high oxygenated water. I've never tried them without aeration. Personally, I'd be kind of nervous to do that. The waterways these fish come from naturally fed springs with high oxygenation and currents. So I wouldn't say they couldn't, but I personally wouldn't try it.
I have a question, actually, because this is something that I was specifically trying to find with the tequila split fins, and I had trouble finding it on YouTube. What's the best place to go to get realistic footage of where they live? Because I wanted to see footage of them in their environment, and I could not find that anywhere for some reason.
I can actually help you with that. So
can you?
I am a member of the Goodyear Working Group. Anyone who's interested in the Goodyear Working Group can
I actually shared their link earlier. Yeah.
So what's nice about the Goodyear Working Group? We have folks within the group that actually go out on research studies, and every so often we get newsletters and updates. So what's really interesting, and another reason why it's important to work with these fish, Mexico has been in a high drought for quite a few months, and some of these waterways now are just mud. One of the Goodyears that most people what I was introduced was the first Goodyear I got, and you folks may have seen it, the butterfly Goodyear. The Goodyear Working Group feels that within a year to a year and a half, maybe slightly more, the butterfly Goodyear, the Mica splendens, will be completely extinct in the wild. But these waterways are drying out, and another issue is there's pollution. Mexico has a lot of high farming, but another thing that's happening is invasive species. Tilapia. What's really interesting is there's a couple species of Zoophorus that are competing for food and stuff. So there's a lot of different things. So that's why I tell people, I get it. People may look at me like, he's off his rocker with this. That's why it's so important, is because seriously, folks, you may be one of the hobbyists that makes the difference one day that saves the species. And to me, that's important if we want to keep these fish going, because they're my favorite fish. I'm hooked with them. I'll always have them. They're a cool fish. What I like about them, freshwater fish, Livebearer. But what's really cool is they have, in my opinion, they have the instincts of a dwarf South American cichlid.
100% agreed.
That's what I've been noticing with my group of trouts. I mean, they're so fun to watch. I mean, they're awesome.
Their movements are way different than any guppies. They're like thoughtful. Is the only way I can describe it. Like, you can see it. Like
Bob's got me missing some of my guppies. Years ago, I used to work with guppies.
Oh, dude, I got German whites. I got pingus. I got blue or black lace. I got something else. Some sort
Schubel
of
greens.
Yeah, the Schubel greens. Yep.
Well, that's one of the things with being in green water is you get a lot of access to these.
Yes, you do.
I
love it.
I'm not just saying this. I have heard a lot of good things about your organization, and I really wish I lived closer. I hear a lot of good things about Greenwater.
Oh, did we lose him?
Might have froze.
Man, we just got him back into the conversation too, because we had circled back. We just lost you a little bit, Bob.
We'll get it in a sec.
Yeah. Stan Pittman's got a question. Just curious, these lines that have been inbred for generations, how are they any different from aquarium strains? Greg's line of Trout Goodyear, for example.
Okay,
Ooh.
so here's what it is.
All
Okay,
right.
a lot of people think, oh, you have to get new bloodlines. That only happens with mammals. That is, you can breed a bloodline of fish for years on end as long as you're doing proper culling. A good example is the Ziphophorus Genetic Lab at the University of Texas that had their Ziphophorus bloodlines for well over 100 years. So here's what it is. A lot of these, like the Audax I work with, yeah, the Audax were only collected a few times. So yeah, the majority of them are being line or inbred. But what it is, over time, these bloodlines homogenize, so to speak. And as long as you're culling properly, if as long as it's not a severe defect, if you get a defect, if you're removing it, over time it corrects itself. So a lot of people have the misunderstanding that you have to get all new bloodlines all the time and all that. If you want to do that, you can, but it's not necessary. Fish are not mammals. They don't require that. Prime example is a lot of these fish that I work with, they've become isolated. So some of these waterways that they're in are small waterways. There's a very high percentage chance that they're all inbreeding, and that's how another species starts to begin with anyway. So so the thing about it is, I tell people all the time, oh Ed, I want to get your crack it on Audax because I got some in California. Okay, I can respect that, and to a certain point there will be a certain delusion with the line, but the majority of them are related because Audax were only collected a few times. They weren't available commercially. So the bloodlines are being worked as line bred. So yeah, so that does not apply to these as long as you're culling properly and doing proper husbandry.
I've been hearing this a lot more, and I'm glad it's kind of getting, given some light.
I have a bloodline of fish here that I bought 15 years ago. I bought 4 fish, two pairs. My bloodline is healthier today than it was then, and it came from those fish. I would look anyone in the eyes. I do not get any types of genetic defects or anything. So as long as you're culling properly, it doesn't apply to fish. Like I said, anyone feel free to look up the Ziphophorus Genetic Lab out of the University of Texas. And they're happy to share information, and their bloodlines they've been working for decades with. So that's what it is. So if you feel you need to mix your line a little bit, that's fine. But here's another thing too. Prime example, like with critically endangered fish. If you're going to do that, make sure you're getting a true strain of the species.
So because Stan's shooting back here a little bit, and this is kind of what I think is the difference between an aquarium strain and a natural one, less so than inbreeding, more so of breeding for physical appearance that becomes so different from the natural appearance.
So
okay.
in Greg's stages,
he's
breeding for the yellow.
Yeah, and he stands right in that regard, right? Like,
well, that's the thing about it is that's selective breeding. That's not hybridization. That's selective breeding. Selective breeding, as long as it's not hybridized, is not an aquarium strain. As long as that species is still true. As long as another species has not been hybridized with it, selective breeding still falls under the category of the strain being true. You would have to
Ed, I remember seeing your post about what was it, the White Cloud Mountain minnow? Now, can you explain that as far as wouldn't that be selective breeding for longer fins?
Yeah, so I'm sorry, who was that mentioned that with?
Stan Pittman.
Stan, I'm sorry, my friend, I misunderstood you. So selective breeding changes appearance. Exactly, you're exactly right. But the thing about it is, if you're not hybridizing the fish, it's not an aquarium strain. An aquarium strain would be hybridizing or not keeping the locations on them. So that's the difference. But
most of the time when they change the appearance, if they stop line breeding it, it'll go back to the wild form anyway.
Yep. Neocaridina shrimp are like that.
Yeah.
But just recently with the CARES program, someone wanted to register longfin white clouds. The white cloud mountain minnow, Tendicles anubias, is a CARES fish and critically endangered. But when you change to a color morph or any type of morphology, such as fins or anything like that, then that becomes an aquarium strain. So Stan is absolutely right with that. So with any of the critically endangered fish, if you wanted to register them with CARES, they have to be the way that they would, the way you would see them in the wild.
Yeah, and that makes sense. That makes sense. But all right, so we we're talking about. I want to give Bob another shout out here from the Greenwater.
Yeah.
You guys talk about Greenwater. Dude, Greenwater's doing some work out in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah, Ed, if you wanna lead back into it, saying how you know your thoughts on the Greenwater, we can kind of go from there.
I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah, Ed, if you
I'm sorry, the bell tone's
you
not working.
you were trying to tell Bob earlier before he cut out how you appreciated what was going on with Greenwater.
I've heard, Bob, I've heard a lot of good things about Greenwater. I appreciate what you folks do for the hobby, and I wish I were closer because I would so be part of it. I wish I could be a part of it. It's a good club, and it seems like there's a lot of good people there. I've talked to quite a few of the people that go there, and I've heard nothing but good things. So I appreciate the work you do, sir.
Yeah. You know, I mean, one of the things we're into is making sure we get healthy fish out to people, you know, and that's, you know, that people here are, you know, they've got these fish in their tank, they're reproducing, you know, we give them the opportunity to put them out there and, you know, so other people can share healthy fish, you know. So it's like,
I agree.
That's,
now, is there any way, Bob, that somebody that isn't in the general area can become involved?
You know,
or
it's hard
not
to
at
say,
this time.
you know? Well, because, you know, we've got our swaps, and it's, you know, how do you, unless you can get to the area? I mean, technically, anywhere in the world you can probably get to Chicago. You know, it's like there's Chicago Airport has flights to every continent, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, almost anywhere in the U.S. you can get there in 3 hours, whatever. You know, it's like, okay. But no, we don't have any, you know, real online presence thing there. Where Chicago Livebearers Society, yeah, we're actually trying to publish information on the different species and trying to get that out there. So, you know, in there, it's more, yes, anyone can join it. You can join online. You can, you know, you can, if you want to do a write up on a species, you know, we'll put it out there for it, you know, that kind of thing. So
I wish Ed was closer to us, man, for doing a speech or a talk. It would be awesome for the Chicago Livebearers.
You know, and I've got to get it to the point where I can start having online speakers, you know, that we do because like Chicago Aquatic Plant Society, okay, they're always having speakers that are all over the place that just come in on, you know, their YouTube channel or whatever they're using. And so, you know, hopefully we can start doing it similar to Chicago Aquatic Plant Society, where we're able to have speakers, you know, from anywhere, just, you know, and then be able to broadcast the meeting as well online. So
that's
so I did appreciate, yeah. I mean, I appreciated like our last meeting, how, you know, Kyle, you know, broadcasted it. You know, it's like, okay, so we've got that out there. You know, so hopefully,
and I'm getting better. I'm getting better at it. I think the next one, if Mike would, if he wants me to, I'll definitely record it. Or
you definitely record it. You know, we can always make it available to members. You know, like that.
For sure.
So that, you know, put it on our website and have it members only if he wants it that way. But the fact is, yeah, he's pretty good at that. I'm sure he'll let us broadcast it. So
because that one's going to be some great info, live food cultures and everything. Like,
he's extremely knowledgeable on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So we are at the 2-hour mark, and I'm getting tired. Everybody else is getting tired here, I'm sure. So let's get into our giveaway.
Yeah.
We got to knock this thing out here. I think I got to refresh the screen. So let me refresh. All right. Now I got to figure out how I can share screen.
We're getting an echo on your end, Kyle.
How?
Or maybe
I
it's
do
somebody
hear it.
else,
I know what you're
don't
talking about. Oh, is someone else not muted?
I don't know.
I think we're good now.
Yeah, it's
It might
gone
have.
now.
It might have happened when I walked out or when I went out to present. So let me
Okay.
see if I can share the screen here. Oh, of course it's easier with 2 monitors. I don't have 2 monitors. All right, I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. Fish fam giveaway tool. Let's see. It's probably gonna.
There we go.
Okay, so you guys just don't see me then, right?
No, we can see you.
Oh, you still can see me?
Yep, you're on the side there.
Okay, that makes sense because all right. Sweet. So we have 18 entries. All right. You guys can see your name on there. If you're not on there, I'm going to give you one last chance to enter that in. Okay. All right. Enter
What color
last
am I,
chance.
then?
Oh, we had a last minute entry right here. We had Stephen P. All right. Branton isn't pink. Branton, did you enter?
Yeah, I'm in there.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know if I was allowed to. I kind of wanted to. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't want to.
Go.
No,
I
Branton.
want these fish.
Dude, I feel you on that, man. If I already had a tank set up, I probably would enter, but I'm gonna hold off.
I'll set up a tank tomorrow.
But all right. So, oh man, I did not mean to do that. Oh god. All right, exit full screen. Jesus Christ. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna refresh one last time, and then Stephen P will be the last one I think that entered in there, and then let's get this moving. All right. What are we doing? Wheel of Death or Wheel and Win? What do you guys think? Wheel of Death
Wheel
or
of Death.
Wheel of Death? All right, Wheel of Death.
That's always funner.
Okay, so the Wheel of Death. The way this works, guys, you see your name come up. That's a sad story. It means you're getting out of the wheel. You want to be the last man standing on this wheel or woman standing on this wheel. All right. Well, let's go, I guess. We're going to give it a spin here. 5, 4, 3, 2, spin. Oh, Nathan Hovey. Remove and close?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. All right, we're gonna spin. Cheryl Smith. And the congratulations really kills me on that. Oh, man.
Congratulations.
Oh, Angelicac. All right. Oh, Zen.
Yeah, she was pink. She wasn't gonna win anyway.
Yeah, pink is like the cursed one, right?
It is, I swear.
Yeah, every time you get a man, right? Ah, Henry would have been a good one to get it to. I'm not gonna lie, he would have been a good one to get it to. But we still got some good names up there, guys. All right, let's go. Oh, Stephen P.
Oh, I've never got to hear the wheel say Steven's name, so that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, awkward. Love it. Oh my god. Oh, Stan knocked you off the wheel. Oh, Vinokski. Shady Grady, man.
Yeah, he was pink too. He's doomed.
It was cursed. It wasn't gonna happen. All right. Adam, man. It would have been cool to get him to Adam too. I would have been able to see him. Jody P. Unfortunately, you are off. Oh, Branton, that was close. Jim's fist. You're hanging on there, man. You're hanging on there. Oh man, we got a good mix of people here. These are all some real solid supporters, guys. Anybody that wins, I'd be real happy here, guys. Skipper's off the wheel. Let's go. Let's see. Man. Skull. All right. So we got 4. We got Jeff Kane, Branton, we got Ben, and we got Jorge. Let's see what happens. Ooh.
Oh,
it's a liner, dude. What?
On.
Man, that's bogus. That's bogus. Oh, Jeff. You lucked out there.
Final spin.
Okay. Who's it going to be? We got Ben Sharp and we got Jorge. Let's see. Ooh. Hey. We got Ben Sharp. Is
Nice.
our
Congrats,
winner.
Ben.
Hey, congratulations.
Very nice. Ben, yeah, dude, congrats. Okay, so now we have to figure out, because we didn't talk about this ahead of time, how are we going to get the info? Do they just need to email you? What's the best way to go about that?
Ben, I'm pretty sure you follow me on my page. You can just message me directly from my page.
Oh, okay, sweet.
On Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook
Just
is
to be
by far
safe.
the easiest way.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. My eyes aren't great right now, guys. Yeah, Ben follows me on Facebook. So Ben, you can just go ahead and private message me, give me your information, my friend, and I will get those shipped out to you on Monday. Congratulations.
Congrats, man. Congrats. And then
Yeah, those are some awesome fish, man. Lucky guy, Ben.
And like I said, they're prolific here. Like I have tons of them. So one thing I just realized we didn't mention, I'm going to send out 6 young adults or juvies. I'll give you a mix of everything, but you'll at least have a couple pairs out of that.
Sweet. And hold on,
Now, are the different sexes between those real quick? Are they very noticeable?
As they get older. And remember I was talking about the andropodium with the males?
Yep.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So the male and andropodium, it literally looks like a mitt. So as
Ben, make sure you message him on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because he says he's on your website. I just want to make sure you heard that. All right.
You can do my website, edsaquaticexotics.com, or you can do
all right. For sure.
Whatever you prefer.
Gotcha. And then also, I want to make sure I shout this out because you are not going to be shipping after the end of October, right?
I may go into the first week of November. It depends on temperatures.
I was going to say, if it stays like this, man, this is almost perfect.
Yeah, I would say.
And then a few weeks before the holidays, there's no way I'll ship. I've been very fortunate this year. Most people, so I ship with breather bags, and I ice pack and things like that. So I give people the option if they want to ship overnight, most people ship priority, and I can honestly say, majority of the people I've been sending to get it within the next day or the following day, and they're doing very well. So the only thing I require, because of them being cold water fish, now with it being cooler, it's a different story. But usually during the warm months, I recommend that they pick them up at the local post office so they're not sitting out in heat during the summer. But by now, you're usually okay.
And I wish more people would push that as a shipping option, man, because that is just the easy. Pick it up at the store. Don't have it dropped off outside. Or if you're in an apartment like me, it gets dropped off to a mail room, and then it's locked in a mail room, and you can't get that, and you never know when the person's going to get back. And oh my god!
And the thing is, you want the fish to get there safely,
Yeah.
And the thing is, I get it. If you're at work, you don't want to. I get it, because I've had days like that. But the thing about it is, these fish can't withstand long, high temperatures and stuff. So I just have better success doing it that way. So.
Yep. The thumbs up button just got you again. I don't know if you saw that. You did the thumbs up. I don't know if you remember that from last time. Every time you thumbs up, the thumbs up button popped up, and it just did it again. Sorry.
Yeah, we should have had the balloons when somebody won.
Oh, dude.
I'm never going to live that down.
But no, speaking back on the shipping, I thought picking up at the post office was a great idea. I mean, it's just one less thing to go wrong. I mean, it doesn't have a chance of getting stolen. It doesn't have the chance of a kid coming by and stepping on it. I mean, there's just so many things that can happen while it's sitting on your doorstep,
And I'm just going to be honest, okay? I'm very transparent with my business. I realize that some folks ship to your door, and that's their choice. I respect that. I would never fault them for it. Good idiots are different. So last year, I had someone buy 3 pairs of crocodons from me. They were shipped. They sat outside the door for 10 hours. When they came home, 3 of them were dead, and that was my fault. And no. Safety of the fish.
Jeff, you're funny, man. Oh, man. Oh, all right. Yeah, I think me and Ed are still here, right?
I think we're all frozen, Kyle. I got my eyes closed.
Yeah, we were all frozen for a minute.
Oh, for sure. All right, there we go. But well,
yeah,
Jeff.
So I just have it done that way for the safety of the fish, because for me, the safety of the fish is paramount. So.
Yeah,
as it should be.
Ed was definitely saying that it wasn't his fault. Yeah, it was sarcasm. I think. It wasn't actually his fault after 10 hours.
No, what I mean by that was, and I hope this doesn't come across disrespectful, the customer tried to blame it on me. And So I don't like laying blame, but the thing is, when I send you fish, and Brandon can attest to this, I track it, so I know exactly where it is at any given time. So when it's available for you to deliver, I email, hey, you can pick your fish up. So that particular situation, it was delivered at their house at literally 9 a.m. on that morning. I get an email message at 10 o'clock at night reporting 3 DOAs. So all that time transpired. So for me, with my warranty, you have to report within the first 2 hours. So literally, and then this person said, well, yeah, I worked all day. Okay, I appreciate that. But I always tell people, if you can't do that on that day, let me know. I will work with you. I'm not going to say you have to go to the post office on this day. I'll work with you to schedule a time, because we're all busy. It's just for the safety of the fish for me. So, that was a big loss, for them. And of course, I made it right for them, even though it wasn't my fault, but I wanted to do right by them. And I said, yeah, the policy had to change, because crocodon, the black prince, is a pretty hard fish to find anymore. And any fish that die during shipping is a loss, but that was a pretty big loss. So that's why I do what I do now.
Okay, so Henry's got one more question, and since he's my guy, we'll get this answered, and we are going to wrap it up here because I actually have to start bagging up fish and getting ready for the swap tomorrow. So
yeah, hey, at least it's on a Sunday this time, Kyle. You don't
dude,
have to do the swap all day or get
oh
off
my
work
God.
Friday, stay up all night, go to the swap, and then do this stream. I know that was rough last time.
You know it, man. You know it. I am very grateful for the Sunday swaps for sure. For sure. For sure. But all right. So Aquarium Fantasy Henry asks how many aquariums you recommend for the one type of Goodyear. I forgot what he said last time.
I do similar to what Bob does. I'll do at minimum 5, but I can do as high as 7 tanks. And that's one thing I tell people with critically endangered fish: don't put all your eggs in one basket. So there was a gentleman I know that was working with Los Pinos, which is a very hard to find Crocodon Audax Goodyear. He had all of them in a 75-gallon tank. The tank crashed. He lost every last one of them. So it's like when you have something that special and that endangered, put them in a couple tanks because, let's be honest, anything can happen. And if you want to maintain that bloodline, it's best to have more than just one tank of them. So generally here with any species I have at minimum 5. I have as high as 7 or 8 tanks with each species.
So yeah. So if you're trying to do some real work with a Goodyear species, you really want to maintain a healthy line, keep it up. Got to have at least five tanks there, Henry.
Or have
got
5
the room.
friends each keeping a tank of them.
Or that, yeah, spread them around. Yeah, that's not a bad idea too. Yeah, having different water, different parameters. Make sure that nothing happens, even with your municipality, and then you do a water change. You didn't even know something happened. Like, yeah, horrible stuff happens.
That's why I love where I am. I have well water, so I don't have to worry about that. When I lived in the city of Pittsburgh, every year at the beginning of June, you could guarantee they were going to bombard the water supply with chlorine. And if you weren't prepared for it, there was one year I completely forgot. I lost so many fish, it was ridiculous.
All right, so
So everyone, remember, if you're in the Chicago area,
yep,
you got Fins and Feathers in the morning, and you got and that's Mount Prospect or something.
Yep. Prospect.
Yeah, and then in the afternoon in Bolingbrook is Chicago Aquatic Plant Society.
So you got a whole fishy day ahead of you if you want to come out and hang out with us in Chicago tomorrow in the Chicago fish keeping hobby.
Kyle, are you gonna video any of it?
I'm gonna be probably pretty busy actually working the stand. I've tried to live stream there a few times, and the internet connection is very bad in the building, so I can never end up actually getting the full connection.
Gotcha.
But hey, I actually just got the notification that Vibes is going live, so I want to wrap this up because I don't want to step over his time, and he's a good friend of ours. So let's send everybody over there, guys. If you're watching the stream, go check out Vibes Aquatics, spelled exactly like you'd expect, and everybody, I'm pretty sure you guys know them anyways. So go head on over there. I'm gonna try to hook up those the sendovers, because I finally saw that in the app. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's kind of cool.
do those from now on, so I can send it to the next live stream like automatically. But I don't have it set up right now, so I can't do that.
Yeah, there's Zen with the link. So
yeah, Zen's always awesome like that. Yeah, check out the next live stream, guys. I want to thank our guests for helping us out here, Ed and Bob, and Teresa. Teresa took off already, but yeah, thank you guys for joining us, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Ed, thank you for the giveaway. That was very generous, and I appreciate that.
It was nice meeting you, Bob.
Oh, I think he's muted. Bob, you're muted. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I did mute myself.
That's all right. I did that the first time I was streaming too. It took me 10 minutes to figure out what I did.
Oh, hey, what's the tank size for Henry? Ah, shit.
I was gonna say I would think that'd be relevant to what species you're keeping. I mean, that's kind of a very broad.
Yeah, I would think nothing smaller than a 2020
Yeah.
for those. I would think it would be like a right, Ed? What do you
Are
think?
you? I faded out for a minute. Someone asked what
Oh.
size tank to do.
Yeah, Henry's just for a general Goodyear. Let's guess like a trout Goodyear. I'm guessing.
Okay,
think
so the trout Goodyears get bigger, so I prefer doing a 55. I wouldn't do anything under 29s.
Okay,
For
20,
for the others, I do 20s to 29s, and like the Cracodons and the smaller ones, I'll do like 4 females and 2 males. But when you get into the bigger Goodyears like the trout and stuff, I prefer 55, and you can get away with a 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that sounds like some real solid tank size suggestions there, Henry.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck in your Goodyear escorts or oh my God, what's the word I was looking for? Whatever. All right. Stream brain. All right. Catch you guys later.
Have a good night, guys.
Oh, Ed does have a website. I have it on my Facebook. He's got a Facebook. The link is up in the comments. If you scroll up, Henry, find Ed's Facebook and you can message him there. Okay. But we got to end this up here now. All right.
Have a good night, guys.
All right,
Good night, guys.